What is up, y'all? It is the 2-minute drill, episode freaking 7. Gabe, you told me something that I thought was pretty awesome the other day, and you told me that we have made it further than like 75% of podcasts?
It's a lot. I used to know the percentage, but it's a lot of podcasts don't even make it to 7 episodes.
Yeah, like I was pretty pumped. Like this is a podcast I thoroughly enjoyed doing. This is a podcast that's I know you thoroughly enjoy doing, and we seem to always get good feedback on them. And I think that we may get the best feedback on this one, because I think that people are really going to enjoy this one because of really our main topic, and that's best running backs in the league. And truthfully, I think y'all will be surprised at maybe some of the lists that we have and the lists that we've created. But the first things first, I've got to talk about really quick, unless Gabe, you're dying to. I'm going to let you start with, what are your thoughts on the Everson Griffen signing for the freaking Dallas Cowboys? That's like hot off the press like an hour ago as of recording. Like, what are your thoughts?
I think it is a possibly great move. The only issue with the Cowboys is, besides D-Law, that defensive line was like elite 3-4 years ago. Now I just don't know how everyone is. With Aldon Smith coming back, if he's actually back to kind of what he was before, maybe not his like best seasons, but if he's not going to go to rehab or get kicked out again, then I think that defense could be one of the best.
Or show up to an airport with a loaded gun saying he's going to bomb the place. He has a gun. He had a gun that was loaded, but he said, "I'm going to bomb the place." Like,
so right now they have DeMarcus Lawrence, Jared McCoy, Dontari Poe, and Crawford/Griffin.
Yeah,
that's like, honestly, 3 years ago, best defensive line in the NFL easily. Now it depends on how McCoy and Poe and Griffin plays. But D-Law's a top defensive end, so
I'm literally looking at this tweet. This is from about 20 minutes ago. Listen to this, y'all. Everson Griffen was better than his sack total showed in 19. We've talked about this before. Sack totals are a load of bunk. 8th in QB knockdowns, higher than Nick Bosa, Aaron Donald, and Cam Jordan, and he was 19th in hurries. Guys, the dude still plays well. He was playing opposite Danielle Hunter, who great young player, and he's not even young, he's 26, but he was playing opposite Danielle Hunter, who does not hold, I wouldn't say a candle, but he's nowhere near the level of DeMarcus Lawrence, especially in run defending. So I think that Everson Griffen is going to come in and he's going to seamlessly, especially in Mike Nolan's defense, he's going to seamlessly fit in and seamlessly replace Robert Quinn. And I think that at the end of the day, this move right here just made the Cowboys huge winners right now, because of the fact that they're back into their defense. Their secondary was just, I mean, I think like there was like one player that any person has ever heard of. Not really. I mean, I could name you their starters, but they're not good. Anthony Brown's their number one corner, and then you could say dude from Alabama whose name I just completely forgot, their rookie corner in the second round. But the fact of the matter,
or whatever.
No, not Chidobe Awuzie. He's not making it past this year. I can't believe I can't think of his name. Doesn't matter. But this front seven now, if they're all healthy, I'm just going to put it out there. This is the best front seven in the league. I mean, you've got Lawrence, then you've got Griffen. They're going to pin their ears back and go. Then you've got Poe and McCoy. Are they who they were? No. Dontari Poe's never lived up to his incredible combine out of Memphis, but good enough.
He's still been good. Players.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have Leighton, if his neck can hold up. You have Jalen Smith, horrible year last year, but whatever. And then you have, holy crap, just went freaking blank as a wall. Joe Thomas. Like, that front seven is pretty good. So I mean, especially with the fact that I mean, everybody's talking about the Seahawks and I believe the 49ers. Oh, Seahawks and Vikings, yeah. And then the Cowboys just go and swoop in and just like out of literally nowhere. That's like the Jim Ross RKO out of nowhere. If you don't know what that is, get out of here, Gabe. But
I know what that is.
It came out of absolutely nowhere. And I think that at the end of the day, Stephen Jones, like, props to you for getting a guy who just a few years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, he was a Pro Bowler. And it's not like he's 85 years old. So great signing, in my opinion.
I mean, honestly, imagine if they didn't get rid of Byron Jones. That Cowboys defense, I mean, it would be one of the best in this coming year.
They didn't want to get rid of Byron, but they had no choice but to.
They had to
when the Dolphins came out and offered him like $19 million a year, $20 million a year.
There was no way they were going to pay that because they still had to pay Dak. So
they had to pay Dak. What are you going to do? Yeah, exactly, and they had to restructure deals and all that this year. And but yeah, no, I love the move for the Dallas Cowboys. I really do. And that's funny because I love. And I'm not going to get straight to our main point unless you want to. Do you want to get straight to our main point? Okay. So, like, what now that we know who's officially opted out, no big names besides the 4 or 5 that we mentioned last week. Like, now with college football being like, who knows what's going to happen with that? I know Big 12's come out. I know SEC's come out. I know ACC's come out and said, like, we're playing. But, like, what are we making of, like, the NFL and then college? And, like, we're just in unprecedented times. And, like, what are we making of what's going to happen? Because the NFL season kicks off in less than 30 days.
I think it's like 28 days. But NFL season's they're going to play throughout the whole year. There's no way anything will. The only thing that will stop them is if all 32 quarterbacks get COVID in the same week. Otherwise, it's nothing. It will be whatever. And in college, I mean, it sounds like they're playing. I mean, I think Big Ten's, like, teams can go play somewhere else, but I don't know if that will happen.
I think, and I was just talking to a client about this today, is there is it shows such hypocrisy on the NCAA's level. The reason why the NCAA is trying to force the player's hand of not playing this year is because you have Trevor Lawrence, who is the face of college football, and he has been for the past 2 years. Regardless of what people say, he has been the face of college football. He has come out and said he wants to create a players' union. And guys, like, if there was a players' union in the NCAA ceases to exist as we know it. And Mark Emmert knows that. And so he's pressured these schools, and I'm just going to call it what it is. He's pressured these schools into saying, like, we're done. And I just don't. I don't see a season happening. I really don't. Maybe I'm cynical. Maybe I'm negative. I don't know. But I don't see a season happening. And I want there to be a season. Like, 100% I want there to be a season. But I think when push comes to shove, when kids go back to school, you're going to see these numbers spike. For good or for bad, you're going to see COVID numbers spike. And what's the first thing that happens when these numbers spike? People just automatically want to retreat, and they automatically want to just pull back. Big East canceled all fall sports today. I mean, like, there's some major things happening. And at the end of the day, I don't think the NCAA just wants it to be 8 teams in the SEC. I know there's 10 teams in the SEC, or 11 actually. But at the end of the day, it's 8. Nobody cares about Kentucky or Vanderbilt. And there's going to be like 3 teams in the Big 12 and like 1 team in the ACC. There's going to be 10, 11, 12 teams playing meaningful games. I mean, you know what I mean?
I mean, I disagree with the team count, but besides that, because, I mean, Texas alone has 5 or whatever. They're all going to play.
So they're gonna play, but, like, at the end of the day, you're gonna have the top 25. I mean, the top 25 is gonna be nothing but Big 12, ACC. You could say Conference USA maybe because they still haven't canceled the season, and then SEC. Like, you're gonna have these teams, and at the end of the day, who's gonna end up at the top? It's gonna be Alabama and it's gonna be Clemson. Nobody in the Big 12 is doing anything. Get out of here.
Oh, you will be up there too.
So okay, so
they've been up there the last like 3 years. I don't want to hear anything else.
And then what happers? They get into the first round of the playoff and they get absolutely destroyed.
I didn't say they were going to win it.
Because
I said they were going to be up there.
They have to play defense. They have to, because there's nobody else in the freaking Big 12. Texas sucks. Texas, we're back. Shut up, Sam Ellinger, you idiot, you suck.
They're back for like 7 weeks, and then
they were back.
I don't
they were
really
back
care
before.
about college football, so
It's just, I mean,
one thing is like Trevor Lawrence did say that he wants to play, and he gave pretty good reasons on why he thinks.
Well, of course he does, because he's cashing a fat check.
No, that doesn't matter at all. He's getting money no matter what. He's like you say, he's a face of college football. He's not hurting for money.
He's getting incentive money as well.
Nothing. His draft stock isn't being affected at all. He's probably getting money on the side anyways. So
probably is the Pope Catholic? Is the Pope Catholic?
Hey, you can't say yes or no unless you actually know. And me and you are not his friends.
I'm best friends with Trevor Lawrence. He just texted me, "Hey brother, I'm actually getting paid. Just cash a check." It's just, it's just. I don't know. And again, I could kill the NFL, and I will kill the NFL here in a little bit. But it's just, make up your damn minds.
For doing a football podcast, you're very anti-NFL.
Well, it's not that I'm anti-NFL. I'm anti-dumbass is what it boils down to. And I hate to be so blunt, and I hate to be so frank. But
you're anti-people.
No, I'm not anti-people. I mean, my job is with people, for crying out loud.
Yeah, but there's a lot of dumb people.
That's a good point. But no, it's just speaking of dumb people, talk about a segue. And I was just looking at our show notes, and this is what reminded me.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell is wrong with you, DeAndre Baker and Quentin Dunbar? There is no other way to.
Dunbar got so lucky.
He got so lucky, and then you have DeAndre Baker. Like, Gabe, give the people the details on what happened on this. Give them your thoughts, and I guarantee I'm just gonna agree with your thoughts.
So DeAndre Baker and Quentin Dunbar I believe they were at like a poker game or something. And one thing led to another. He ended up stealing from like 4 people with a gun. So it's like pretty serious kind of thing.
This is an NFL player. And it's not Aaron Hernandez.
He was drafted in the first round. He has like, I don't know, $10-12 million in the bank, and he robbed like probably $3,000 worth of stuff. And the people, they said insufficient evidence for Dunbar. Don't understand how you can have insufficient evidence for one player but not the other whenever they were both there together. But I guess
that's called they had sufficient funds.
They had like a getaway car or something, or their friend came by and picked them up. I mean, that was probably a few months ago whenever that happened. But now he's being charged with 4 counts of robbery with a firearm. He's an idiot. Why are you stealing? Well, even if it's $100,000, why are you stealing from people whenever you just joined the NFL?
That is something, truthfully, like, at the end of the day, like,
he did not listen to Chris Carter. Chris Carter said you always have to have a fall guy. Apparently Dunbar had a fall guy, and that was Baker.
Clearly he had it. You know, I told there was a Cowboy player last year. I forget who it was. I can't remember who it was. There was a Cowboy.
You can name any of them. All of like half of the team's been in jail.
and he got arrested for marijuana at like 3 a.m. And no, I think it was 5 o'clock. Yeah, it was 5 o'clock because it broke the news at like 6 o'clock, and I was training a client at 6:30. And I said, "Hey Tommy, did you hear what happened?" And he goes, "No." And so I told him, and I was like, "Bro, like, have a fall guy. Like, dude, you're in the NFL. Like, go pay somebody $100,000.
Wait, give me 1 second. Or just don't be an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, and then you wanna pull out a gun like a gangbanger, bro. You have guys like, this is very serious. You have guys that would literally kill to be in your position. Literally kill somebody to be in your position. And here you are gangbanging it out, going to a poker room that, by the way, was probably illegal, and you want to steal money. You want to pull out a gun. Give me your money, bro. You have like $12 million in earnings. Give me a break, you idiot! Like, that's where it comes. Like, I hate stupidity. Like, I just hate stupidity. I have no patience for stupidity. I have no, I don't understand stupidity. I don't get stupid. Like, stop being stupid.
I mean, some of it's like understandable and stuff with like the upbringing, but for the most part, it's like once you get into that position, you need to mature pretty quick.
Put yourself around people who know better than you,
Mm-hmm.
mature, and stop being a gangbanger. You are signed to the NFL. Like, come on, dude. Like, that's just, and I could go around in circles just saying the same thing, but it's just, it's inexplicable that you want to pull out a gun and start robbing people when you're in, it's inexplicable just in general, but when you're in the NFL, like, and you were a first round pick, I believe he went to Georgia and he was a really good player at Georgia. He was there with Roquan Smith, but like, why? Like, did you really think you were going to get away with this?
Yeah, obviously he wasn't thinking whenever he did all this.
Because maybe he was.
If he was, then he has a lot more issues.
You know, it reminds me of the Madden. There was a Madden, I don't know what year it was, and you would make a bad play in Madden, and John Madden, this is when he still commentated the games. John Madden would come over and he would say, "It's not what it's not what were you thinking? It's why weren't you thinking?" And I'm just reminded of that in this. It's not what Quentin Dunbar or DeAndre Baker. It's not what were you thinking. It's why weren't you thinking? Like, come on, bro. Like, just don't do that. Speaking of, and I'm gonna segue that. I promise y'all, this is gonna be a good segue into our main topic. Our main topic is gonna be why Ezekiel Elliott is the best running back in the NFL.
Incorrect.
And I could talk about why wasn't he thinking when he pulled that chick's dress down at the St. Patrick's Day parade. I could talk about why wasn't he thinking when he did all these stupid things. But what I can't tell and what I can't say about Ezekiel Elliott is that the dude has never missed a game due to injury in his career. What did you say last week, Gabe? Being available is the number one thing. Tell me your top 10. Give me your reasons why. I'm going to shut up for however long this takes.
Okay, my top 10. It has Zeke, but he's definitely not number one. I have Christian McCaffrey, number one. The reason why is the Panthers pretty much had nothing last year. And no matter what, Christian McCaffrey got the ball and he made something positive happen. He can catch. He runs like a wide receiver. He catches like a wide receiver. He can break tackles. He's not scared of physical players or anything. And he's pretty much what you want as a running back in this day and age. 20 years ago, maybe not. You want more of a bruiser, but he might be a little bit smaller, and he takes a lot of hits. But without him, the Panthers would have been nothing last year. Number 2 is quads. Barkley is going to be the best running back for the next 7 years. He pretty much has everything. I mean, he has a size of Zeke. He's not as fast as Christian McCaffrey, but up there. The only downside I have to say on him is he got hurt like once or twice already. So that's kind of...
He was hurt week 2 of last year, and then he re-injured his ankle. He was a high ankle sprain. He was out for like 9 games. And then he got re-injured. I think it was in week 13. It was right when he came back for fantasy playoffs, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna win!" And then he goes out that next game and just tears his ankle up again.
Little side note: Drew Brees can suck it. Anyways, Zeke I have at number 3, and it's not really like my top 5 are pretty much you could put them anywhere. Like honestly, if you put Zeke 1, I'm not going to be that upset with it because they're all good. I just in this day and age, I think a pass catching back that can also is an elite runner is better than a running back that can run the ball behind one of the best offensive lines with one of the best wide receiver cores with a above average quarterback. I just don't see how that's that scary. Now, number 4, I have Derrick Henry. mainly because of last year and how every defense they played would not tackle him. Even Earl Thomas was saying, "Oh, we ain't scared to tackle," while he was talking bad about the Patriots. And in that very next game, Earl Thomas was blocking for Henry. So that was always a good one. And number 5 might surprise some people just because he's on the Bengals, and the Bengals have sucked for the last 15 years. They made playoffs and stuff, but they never were really scary. And that would be Joe Mixon. Now, he started his NFL career off pretty rocky with the punching that girl in the face, but ever since then he's pretty great.
He was still at OU at that time.
Yeah, but he was about to go into NFL. If you've ever seen that video, you should watch it. If you haven't seen the video, you should go watch it. But he's pretty much, he does everything. He can catch, run. I mean, he's pretty much the ideal kind of back that you would hope to draft. The one guy that I thought wasn't going to be this good, but he actually is playing really well, would be Nick Chubb at number 6. That Browns running group is amazing with him and Hunt. Now, Chubb, he had his second most yards last year, only behind Henry. And I mean, there's no reason why the Browns didn't win more. He was an elite running back. The only player on my list that I don't actually like, and I don't really know why I don't like him, but it's number 7 is Dalvin Cook. And he's just, I don't know.
Because he can't stay healthy and he wants $16 million. He wants to reset the market. Well, you idiot, how about you stay healthy?
That could be true. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not super high on most elusive backs. Maybe I like the bigger backs. Just go hit. He's fast. I mean, I don't think he's a game breaker. Number 8 is Aaron Jones. And one thing I noticed on Aaron Jones is he had 16 touchdowns last year, a little over 1,000 yards, which is just a crazy amount for me. Number 9 is Alvin Kamara. He would probably be higher if he wasn't hurt all year, but even with him being hurt, he only had 500 rushing yards, but he had 81 receptions, which is just outrageous for a running back. Now, I was kind of iffy on him. Between him and Josh Jacobs, we're kind of battling head to head. And the only reason I didn't put Josh Jacobs is just because he was younger and Alvin Kamara had so many receptions. It was just an outrageous amount. Then number 10, I have Philip Lindsay. And he's another one of those kind of underrated backs. He's with the Broncos and he does everything. He's quick, elusive. I mean, he's a hard-nosed running back.
When I first saw yours, I was pretty, I honestly didn't have a whole lot of complaints, truthfully.
To be fair, running back, there's not that many great running backs. So it's pretty easy to you can just mix them around a little bit and it's what you want.
Exactly. And that's, truthfully, guys, I'm going to quickly run down my list, and y'all will see that we pretty much have very similar lists. Besides the number 1, of course, being different, and that my number 1 is Zeke. Talked about it last week. Dude is a bowling ball. He's the best blocking running back in the league, and that's not even close. And like I mentioned last week, and all y'all Cowboy lovers that are still reminiscing on the 80 years ago heyday of the 90s can attest to this. He's the best blocking running back, truthfully, since Emmitt Smith.
Why does that matter? You can just put a tight end. He can block.
Why does that matter?
Yeah, why does that matter? What's the difference between being an elite blocking running back and an average one? I feel like 90% of running backs can block.
No, because what do most running backs do is they go right at your legs. Okay, what are the best rushers? So typically outside linebackers. What are the best outside linebackers? Exactly. So when you can take them head on you're showing me toughness, and that's huge. You can't teach toughness. You just can't. You're either tough or you're not. Something that you will not argue with Zeke, or cannot argue on Zeke, is that he's not tough. Zeke is as tough as they come. Again, like I said, he hasn't missed a game due to injury in his career. Second thing is when you are able to have a guy that is in there blocking but still could be a threat. Receiving, let's just say he slips out. Let's just say he chips on a guy and then drops out for a screen or whatever it would be. The fact that you're able to still have in today's day and time, typically for pass catchers on the field at any given time, if you take out the running back with a tight end and then 3 wide receivers, because we're no longer playing 2 wide receiver sets anymore. The fact that you are able to keep a guy out there who is a weapon, typically the tight end, and not just have him in there as a blocker, is another huge thing. The fact that Zeke is such a good blocker is incredible. And you could say the same thing about Emmitt Smith. The fact that he was such a good blocker allowed Alvin Harper to go out and have his great years, to parlay it into to a Bucks contract, allowed Michael Irvin, and I'm not saying that Michael Irvin wouldn't have been great even without Emmitt, because he would have been, but it allowed Michael Irvin to, without his game-breaking speed, being one of the best route runners in the league, arguably ever, get those quick slant routes, so get those hitch routes, get those ends or those digs or whatever it would be. So the fact that he's one of the best blocking, or that he is the best blocking running back, in my opinion, since Emmitt Smith, is a huge thing. And another thing, and Tommy, I have you to thank for this, is he's shown a willingness to catch the football. And that's something that people don't talk a lot about Zeke, because he doesn't have the game breaking speed that Christian McCaffrey does. He doesn't have designed plays for him typically, besides the 1 or 2 screens a game that Scott Linehan used to run. But the dude's shown a willingness to catch the ball. I mean, I'm looking last year, he had 54 receptions on 71 targets. The year before, he had 95 targets on 77 receptions. I mean, the dude has shown a willingness to go out there and catch the ball. Doesn't drop a whole lot. So case in point. So last year, Christian McCaffrey had 142 targets with an 81.7 catch percentage. Zeke had let's just take his best year, 95 targets at an 81.1% completion or a catch percentage. So is he Christian McCaffrey receiving wise? Alvin Kamara receiving wise? No, and I don't think anybody's going to sit here and say he is. But Zeke is a good pass catcher running back. Number 2, Christian McCaffrey. I'm not even going to talk about that.
Can I do one thing about Zeke?
Yeah.
Do you think he was worth that high pick?
Yes.
What about Barkley?
It's different. Because when Zeke was picked, and let me pull this up, I believe he was picked in the 2016 draft.
Right in front of Jalen Ramsey.
When he was picked, the Cowboys at the time, if I'm remembering right, had he was picked 4th. Okay. So when he was picked, the Cowboys had a pretty decent team, if I'm remembering right. Yeah. So they were first in the NFC East. Yeah, I mean, so they were 13-3 that year. So at the end of the day, yeah, because that's the year that they had gone 6-10, I think, the year before. At the end of the day, he was what they needed to bring them over the top. Saquon Barkley has not brought the Giants over the top. Now, is that his fault? No, but that begs the question: as a running back worth a high pick, if it's going to take him over the top, I believe they are. But again, I told you last week, as a general manager, I'm taking best player available. Screw it.
Running backs are never worth a top 10 pick ever, no matter who the running back is. In this day and age, it's pointless.
So let's go look. In Zeke's draft, which was the 2016 NFL draft, the next running back chosen was, I'm scrolling through it, the next running back chosen was number 45. It's just so happens that was Derrick Henry. Okay. So the Cowboys, I guess, could have gone for Derrick Henry. They could have gone Jalen Ramsey because it was in between Zeke and Jalen Ramsey.
You know how good that team would be with Derrick Henry and Jalen Ramsey?
They wouldn't have had Jalen Ramsey. They couldn't have paid him. That's the thing. He would have been Byron Jones 2 years ago. They couldn't have paid him.
Yeah.
Why was he traded from Jacksonville? Yeah. He was traded from Jacksonville because they couldn't pay him.
And he was talking.
And the Cowboys, they definitely could not have paid him. Did that Zeke pick work out? Absolutely. It absolutely did. And I think when push comes to shove, and the Cowboys have an out after this year, by the way, which people don't talk about. They have an out in his contract after this year with, I think, like next to
That's
no
not good, though.
money.
You shouldn't be getting rid of a high first round pick that early.
That early, he will have had 6 years.
Okay. They're also paying him $90 million, so.
If I can go out and get a NFL player with a 4th overall pick, and the dude is the best player at his position for 6 years, I'm gonna take it. Maybe I'm crazy, but if it's not a quarterback and he's the best player at his position for 6 years, I'm taking it. Second player, and I'm not even really going to talk about him, Christian McCaffrey. He was the whole Panthers offense in 2019 besides DJ Moore, but is that because of a lack of talent around him? This year will, in my opinion, be the test. This is my litmus test for him, is can he do it again? I have no reason to think he can't, because he's only gotten better as time has gone on. But just interested to see what he does this year. Saquon, he's going to have numbers. They suck. They absolutely suck. Their best their best player besides him on the offense last year was Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram, if I remember, got injured 11 games into the season. Their second best player was Golden Tate. Golden Tate missed the first 6 games of the season due to steroids. They sucked. So, of course, he's going to have numbers. Derrick Henry, will he be as good this year? I don't think he will, but we'll see. The dude can run over like literally any human being in the league. Joe Mixon is rounding out the top 5. If he was not playing at Cincinnati and he was in a bigger market on a better team, people would consistently say he was a top 5 running back. 6 through 10, going to go through it real quick. Nick Chubb at 6, Dalvin Cook at 7, Aaron Jones at 8, Alvin Kamara at 9, Josh Jacobs at 10. He was playing great football before he got hurt. He is, in my opinion, the next great back. And I think at the end of next year, when we're having this conversation in 2021, leading into the 2021-22 season, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, in my opinion, is probably going to be about the 3rd or 4th best running back. I really do think he will be.
I think him and Nick Chubb is going to be right there with each other.
Yes, I mean it's Josh Jacobs. I'm so high on it. Great running back. And at the end of the day, like they're quietly in Oakland, and this is actually a great segue to what happened in Oakland. But they're quietly putting together a pretty good team there. They truly are. If Derek Carr could ever be the Derek Carr of 2 years ago, ever again,
whenever he was potentially an MVP candidate,
exactly, before he goes out and breaks his leg. But I think that they could be really good. I really do.
Just a little heads up: Josh Jacobs was drafted 1st round, pick 24. So
was he the first? I don't think he was the first running back off the board, was he?
I can look it up. I don't really know.
I don't think he was. He would have been the 2019 draft. So I mean, y'all.
Yes, he was their first running back off the board.
So he's the first running back off the board.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who was the next one? I'm scrolling through it. Yeah, he was the next one was not until Miles Sanders at 53, who is going to have a. People are so high on him this year. I know you're high on him because I look at show notes, Gabe. I don't think he's going to be that good, especially with them losing Brandon Brooks, with the Eagles losing Brandon Brooks. Miles Sanders, if you pick him in our fantasy draft, please pick him in the fantasy draft. In fact, pick him in the top 5 for all I care. You're going to be wasting a pick on him. I don't think Miles Sanders is going to be that good this year. I really don't. I don't think the Eagles are going to be that good this year, if I'm being honest.
I don't either.
That was a shameless plug for our fantasy league. Y'all, if you're not in our fantasy league, we're already filled out. But if we can get even more people in it, let's do it. We'll create a second one. Let's do it. Gabe's like, bro, I don't know if I want to fork over another $25 to Hunter. Go ahead and fork over another $25 to me because I'm taking all y'all's money. Yeah, let's smack talk.
No, he's not. He can't do anything. It's gonna be the easiest money I've ever made in my life.
That's what you think. Just wait until you see my draft strategy. It's gonna pay off. I always go kicker in the 3rd round, and I've won every single league I've ever been in. Kicker in the 3rd round. Eddie Pinheiro last year.
That's great. I don't pick a quarterback until the 15th round, so perfect.
Hey, I'm just telling you. Kicker, then I wait till the 5th round to select a defense, and then I start filling out my team from there. Tight end's always the first player off the board.
Time out. You pick defense 5th? The kicker,
guys,
I had no issues with a kicker.
So
the defense? What?
No, so I typically running back,
Yeah.
receiver,
Let everyone
receiver, running back. Typically, I don't care. I don't care what people do. My quarterback is
That seems what everyone picks, so that's not really surprising.
This will be the first year. This will be the first year that I've drafted a wide receiver before the 4th round. Because typically, what I do is running back, and then go receivers.
Oh, I'm drafting Lamar Jackson first pick. Pick 10. He's off the board.
Do it. I'll go ahead and take your money. Well, I already have. So
you already know what quarterback I'm going to pick in the 5th.
Tom Brady, yeah, buddy, Tom Brady.
No, I don't pick Tom Brady.
He's gonna have a good year. I mean, according to you, he's the 3rd best quarterback in the league this year. So,
he's gonna have stats for sure. If you don't pick him in fantasy, then it's gonna be silly.
We all know who you're picking. If you could have 15 Kyler Murrays on your team, you would have 15 Kyler Murrays.
Exactly.
Bozo. So, I mean, really, y'all. I think, like Gabe said, the running backs in today's day and time, we have the top 10, maybe 11, 12, depending upon if you want to be real freaky, I guess, for lack of a better term. And then they just all fall off a cliff from there. David Montgomery and my Bears, I wouldn't put him in the top 25 running backs in the league, which is incredibly sad.
I would. There's some bad running backs like Sony Michel. I'm a huge Patriots fan. And I had such high hopes, especially after that first year.
I think everybody did.
And the thing with him, if you watch him, like, people keep on saying, like, give him another year. It's like, it's fine and stuff, but he just doesn't have, like, he doesn't break a tackle. It doesn't seem like he has the explosiveness. He sure does
fumble the ball a lot.
And he also doesn't, like, he doesn't make people miss, like, ever. Like, if someone touches him, he's going down. So, I mean, that kind of sucks. And then with the Patriots getting Lamar Miller and Sony's on PUP for who knows how long, and I wouldn't see, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't really play much this year. And then depends on how Harris plays. If he plays.
Najee, does he still have those disgusting dreadlocks?
Who?
Najee Harris.
I don't know who that is.
Isn't he the running back? Najee Harris? From Alabama.
He could be, not for the Patriots. Not for the Patriots. I don't know about any other teams.
I think I could have sworn he played for the Patriots. He might have gotten cut. Najee.
He probably. I don't know. I don't know what you Texans talk about.
No, what? I feel like Najee Harris played for the Patriots.
Was there any running backs that opted out of the season?
I'm an idiot. He's going to be in the 2021 NFL draft. That's why it sounds familiar.
Hold on. So can you say that again?
Najee Harris is going to be in the. He's not even in the NFL. I'm an idiot.
No. Before that. Okay, that's what I wanted to hear.
Oh, I'm an idiot. I hate you. So, no. I think the running back talk is done. Times. Well, one thing I do want to talk about, and there was no good way to segue this. One thing I do want to talk about. What do you make of what John Gruden did? What do you make of what he did? So give the people the backstory and let's go from there.
So, with all this COVID stuff going around, you got everyone kind of going. So John Gruden wanted to see how serious his players were about all the precautions and everything. So he tricked his players into thinking he had COVID. And apparently, from all the reports, all the players took it super serious and pretty much passed his test. It's kind of like whenever the girlfriend tested you, it's like she either cheat on her. It's a terrible situation to do, but it's still a good outcome.
Yeah, when I heard it, you told me about it. You texted me at late at night last week, and I was asleep.
I text you every night at 11:30 about some NFL thing.
I know. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to sleep. I got to get up at 4. But unless it was Monday when unapologetically I was watching Married at First Sight and loved it. We stayed up until 1:30 watching Married at First Sight. Hey, don't be jealous that you ain't watching Married at First Sight. You ain't watching Amy and Matt get married, and you ain't watching Amber and Matt.
What?
You ain't watching Iris and man.
You told me you were going to watch it at least one episode a day. Oh no, you said like 3 episodes a day or something like that.
That was no. I said at least one episode a day, and I was going to try to do 3 or 4 on the weekend. And you know what my wife told me? She said, "Hey, I don't want that stuff in our house." And so I said, "Okay." What my wife wants, typically my wife gets. Typically when it comes to when it comes to this type of stuff. So, man, I kind of want to watch Breaking Bad. Thanks, Gabe. That as soon as we stop recording, you're going to start something because I'm going to want to watch that. And Tim's going to be like, no, it's 10:31 right now. We need to go to bed, and I don't want to watch this. Golly, Gabe. Then I'll be the one who's texting you at 11:30. Hey, brother, I'm sleeping outside because of you tonight. But
I won't respond until the morning.
So, guys, I thought, like, when I heard it, because I was wondering how I got into that long rant, but when I heard the news about John Gruden, first off, anytime I hear John Gruden, I think of Spider 2Y Banana. But
his favorite play.
It's his favorite play. It's his favorite play. But when I heard it, I was kind of like I feel like on one hand, it's good. Like you said, it kind of shows that his players care about him. But on the other hand, like, too soon, bro. Like, you probably should not say that this soon. You probably shouldn't tell your guys, hey, I have coronavirus. Because, like, these dudes are already like, do I want to opt out? Do I not want to opt out? And then you want to say, hey, guys, he's not here because he has coronavirus. And the worst part is he didn't even send out an email. He didn't even, like, do, like, a video. He had his assistant coach do it. So, like, usually he's the one who's there. This is what I heard. He's usually the one there. And yes, I read this or I heard this. His assistant coach was like, hey, guys, coach ain't going to make it today. And whoever asked why. And he said, well, because coach has coronavirus. And I was like, oh, my. Like, you didn't have the balls to say it to them face to face or video to face. Like, you had your assistant coach say it. Probably
that's the best way to do it.
Wrong.
What are you talking about? That's the best way to do it. Because he didn't actually have COVID. So if he would have told them and he showed no signs or nothing, the players would have known.
Why not?
Hey, it's not that serious.
Why not send out an email or something? Like, why are you gonna have an assistant coach say it?
You must not. Do you not ever prank anyone? You have to let it. You got to let it air out and just let it go.
I am married. I have a kid. No, I don't.
You can prank both of them if you wanted to. Like instead of fruit puffs.
Do you want to have a co-host next week? I think yes. If you don't want to, if I ever just make you mad or you hate the way this thing's going, just tell me to prank Tatum. I'll never forget when we were first married. I poured ice on her while she was in the shower. I still think that bruise is healing. Like, she was pissed.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be mean. Why are you just being mean?
Is that mean?
Yeah, my brothers used to do that to me whenever I was a kid, and I hated it. Just because you be taking a nice hot shower, all of a sudden an ice bath, it sucks. And you can't get hurt by doing it, so it's not a good thing.
Oh god, you can get hurt. Oh god.
Yeah, you can your body can go into shock.
I'll try to scare her, like she'll turn
Mr.
the corner
Doctor
and go,
over here.
I'll try to scare her and like she'll turn the corner and go bye, and it always ends up that she like laughs, but like when Tatum gets mad, like her instant instinct is to like when she gets scared, her instant instinct is to get very, very, very mad very quickly, and then I'm like, oh god, I just screwed up. Like I just royally screwed up, and I need to calm her down. So then it's no longer about me pranking her; it's about not getting killed by my wife. So no, in a long roundabout way, no, there is no pranking going on at the Gonzalez household because I like my life.
But anyways, the way they did it was pretty perfect because I don't believe Gruden told his staff until he told his assistant to let everyone know, because I mean that's how you pull off a prank that big. Not let anyone know and then tell him, and then whenever hey, it's not actually real, he comes up there and talks to all of his players, and his players are probably laughing about it afterwards. They probably loved it, and because he's already like an enthusiastic guy, like he seems like he's fun to be around. If you love football, you would love John Gruden. So I think it's perfect.
You know, I don't mind that he did it.
I think your wife has scarred you with pranks.
I mean, I kind of liked that he did it, but I could also see how certain players would just flip out.
It's probably not the best thing to do, but it's still. I mean, he did it anyway.
Especially in today's day and time. I mean, I'll never forget. And then I don't have anything else football related, but I'll never forget. I was probably 10, and I go to the White House. I was with my mom and my stepdad, and I go to the White House, and it was a lot different than what it is now. In the sense of like you could get relatively close to it. You still couldn't go up to it, but you could get relatively close to it. And again, I was probably 9, 10, y'all. And I looked up to my mom and I said, Mom, and I promise you this is how loud I said it. I said, praise the Lord, I have a good mic so that it picks this up. Mom, what would happen if I brought a bomb here? And I was that loud. Mom, what would happen if I brought a bomb here? Very quietly. Instantly. And it was like just a lighthearted joke. Instantly. Secret Service just like right on me. Sorry, what did you just say? And I'm like 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, however old I am. And my mom's like, he was just joking and I'm going to reprimand him and all that. So like I say all that, like it's probably a bit too soon to be doing that, John Gruden. But still A+ for effort and execution, quite honestly.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
It was a terrible idea about the bomb. Absolutely terrible idea. I shouldn't have said that. But I promise you now, next time I go to DC, I'm not going to ask what would happen if I had a bomb here because I'm a grown man now, and they're a lot less likely to be nice to a grown man than they are to a little kid.
All right, one thing, since I know you know who I love this season, this 2020 season, and I've been reading some things about him. So I have few questions. Who do you think is going to be better, Kyler Murray or Daniel Jones?
That's a stupid question. Kyler Murray.
Okay, how come?
He has people there.
Like who? Like who?
DeAndre Hopkins would be number one. But hold on. Could you name me 3 Giants receivers?
I can't name you anyone besides Barkley. And I guess Golden Tate. That's about
Golden Tate. He don't play for them. No, I think he does. He did sign a 3-year deal, if I remember right. Evan Ingram's there. Will Hernandez.
I don't like the Giants.
They don't have Sterling Shepard anymore.
Isn't Will Hernandez a lineman?
Yeah, he's a left guard out of UTEP, number 71.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't like the Giants because they beat my Patriots 2 times in the Super Bowl, so I try not to go by them.
Do you mean David Tyree did?
No. Eli.
Well, David Tyree with the helmet catch. But they have Darius Slayton.
That wasn't a touchdown in the game. They still could have won.
Touche. Golden Tate's still there. Sterling Shepard's still there. He probably just got a concussion with me saying his name.
I like Sterling Shepard. He was good with OU.
So he was supposed to be so good, and then
injuries,
concussions just can kill his career. But continue with your Kyler Murray love story.
Oh, I was just who else do they have?
I mean, that's basically it. They don't have a good squad around him. So of course I'm going to take Kyler Murray over Daniel Jones.
No, I'm talking about Kyler Murray. Who else do they have besides Kyler Murray?
Kenyon Drake came on really strong after he was named starter in Week 13 last year. Of course, Larry Fitzgerald, Christian Kirk, Ricky Seals-Jones is still there as their tight end. If they can get a good line, and they've developed or they've gotten a better offensive line over the past year or this offseason, I should say. I think that he'll be good, but I'm not high on him like you are. I don't think dude's winning the MVP this year like you are. I'm going to feel like such an idiot if he does. But man, when he doesn't, I'm going to feel so smart. I'm going to be like,
I can't wait for that episode because it's like I
won't be here. I'm going to be sick.
I think it's going to be Kyler Murray, but if he doesn't get it, I have Tom Brady, and it's going to be great if it's one of them, and hopefully it's Kyler Murray.
If it's Kyler Murray, I'm telling you, I'm taking a week off. I need a week for my mental health. I'm gonna have to take a week off.
Hey,
I can't do it.
I know quite a bit about what I think I see in players. So the reason I think he's so good is just he's one of the most accurate quarterbacks, and he learns from his mistakes. He threw a pick in week 1 of the NFL season,
you sound like a
and he
life
never
coach.
made that pick again.
You sound
He
like
never
a life
made
coach.
the same mistake again.
You
All
sound
of his
like a
players
he learns
love
from his
him.
mistakes. He learns from his mistakes. All of his coworkers love him, and he made that mistake once, and he just never made it again. You sound like a life coach, Gabe.
No, I sound like someone that is trying to tell you why he's going to win.
I could call you the 2-minute life coach.
Anyways,
that needs to
enough
be
of
the
you
name of this
dissing me.
episode. No, that needs to be the name of this episode, the 2-minute life coach.
Enough of you dissing me. They also upgraded across on the other side of Chandler Jones was Devon Kennard, and they already have a decent defense that they got bigger up front, and they got the best wide receiver in the NFL. If you don't think he's the best, then he's a top 3. That never drops anything. I just don't understand how people like the MVP is normally based on stats. If he pulls up 5,500 yards, 5,500 yards or whatever,
what are you
easily
smoking?
happen. Kyler Murray was the best deep passer in the NFL last year.
5,500.
They had Larry Fitzgerald and 2 small guys.
5,500 yards. Like, do you hear how crazy that is?
5,000 yards would be pretty doable.
Yeah, 5,000 would be doable, but
if 5,000 is doable, then 5,500 is possible. I don't think he'll do it. I don't think he'll get it, but
anything is possible.
One
put your mind to it.
One downside I do have on Kyler is his touch on passes isn't that great. So if he does improve on his touch, there's no way he's gonna not win MVP.
So here's why I don't think he will be that great this year. It's not necessarily an indictment on him, and then we can wrap up. It's not necessarily an indictment on him. It's just more of a testament to the opponents. He goes against Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey.
Did that last year.
Nick Bosa and Richard Sherman. And then I don't even know who's going to be the top. It's oh my goodness, I can't think of the defensive tackle who plays for the Seahawks. And I just went blank as a wall with the Seattle Seahawks. But he goes against great defenses. He's in a league, or he's in a division with great defenses. So at the end of the day, I think he'll be great. I really do. Like I think he's going to have a good year. But I don't think that we're going to sit here and come February, come March, come April, we're going to say like, oh, Kyler Murray had an MVP year, and I'm so glad he won the MVP. I've said that from the get go. Excuse me, y'all. That I don't see him winning the MVP. But again, if he does, then I'm going to have to say, Gabe, you were right, and I'll take it. I'm a grown man here, and I have no problem admitting that when I'm wrong, and maybe I'm wrong. Do I think I am? No. I don't think anybody ever thinks they are, though.
If you're so adamant on him not winning an MVP, who do you have winning an MVP?
We need to talk about this probably. I want to do this in 2 episodes. I want to have a pretty in-depth preview because I'm gonna have to look a guy that truthfully, and I was just hating on him. I was just hating on him last week, and I've hated on him so much to so many people. Dak Prescott, it wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me. Tom Brady would.
You think my Kyler Murray take is so outrageous, and then a quarterback that has everything around him and he still can't produce that great is going to win it?
You just admitted it's all about numbers. Tom Brady wouldn't surprise me either.
No, Tom Brady is like, that's kind of like an obvious pick for me because it would be like a fairy tale kind of thing. If he plays good, the narrative is going to be great for him. And then that offense is stacked. That's
why it wouldn't surprise me if Dak won it, is because that offense is stacked.
I mean, I just don't see them getting it.
Do I see it happening? Probably.
If Dak wins MVP, that means Zeke had a terrible year rushing.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, there's no way that There's no way Dak is going to win MVP with an elite running back.
I want to do an episode
And
do that next week.
CeeDee Lamb is, for Dak to win it, Amari Cooper is going to have to be the top 5 wide receiver. CeeDee Lamb is going to have to be the best wide receiver out of the draft in the last 5 years. And Michael Gallup just has to be Michael Gallup. There's no way.
So we were talking about what next week's going to be. I was going to say 2 weeks. Let's do a preview episode next week. It's going to be a little bit longer, y'all. It's going to be a little bit longer. I know this one was just a hair longer, but it's going to be a little bit longer because we're going to get into it. And it's not so much necessarily going to be a debate as it's going to be, we're just going to ask questions to each other. Hey, why do you feel this way? Hey, why do you feel that way? So on and so forth. Because I want to do that. How's that sound, Gabe? Does that sound like a winner?
Sounds great. Also, I made a small little video on Kyler Murray on our YouTube page.
Guys, go look at it. Kyler Murray on our 2-Minute Drill YouTube page. Like, subscribe to us. And again, as always, y'all, like, subscribe, share, donate to our Patreon. $2, $1, $2, $10. That's it. I'm just asking you to literally fork over a McDouble. That's the equivalent of what I'm asking. Feed us.
We're saving lives.
we are saving your brain 1 2-minute drill at a time. And Gabe, he may quit AT&T and become a life coach after this. I mean, he was so anything is possible. You put your mind to it. He learns from his mistakes, and he just gets better. So, guys, as always, like, subscribe, share. Like, subscribe, and share. We thoroughly enjoyed this. This has been episode 7. Remember, we've made it further than most. We're going to keep on going. This has been episode 7 of the 2-Minute Drill. I am out. Gabe, what do you have?
Nothing. Have a good one.
Perfect. Adios, y'all. Be good.